everybody. Come on in. Welcome back. This is the Shawn Yankey Show. Get in here. We are going to start in just a second. I am trying to share. I'm running a little behind tonight. Been a busy day for me. I was just on with Harsh Med. So you may have caught that. If not, check it out on my Facebook timeline. And if you're here on YouTube and Periscope, follow me on Facebook. Come on, get with it. I'm inviting some friends, though, because I want some people to come, hang out with us, join in the discussion, and I hope some of the people that I invited show up. But I am done sharing, so let me get over here and get into what we are about. This is a live interactive chat show where we can and do talk about absolutely anything at all. So come on in and join in on the discussion, because I've got some stuff prepared to talk about to get us going, but this is always a comment-driven show, and I may know where we're going to start out, but I can't really say for sure where we're going to end up, and that's the fun of it. So get in here and join us. We gather here every weeknight at 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern live on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. So whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world, welcome back to the Shawn Yankey Show, and thanks for coming. Please like and share. We are heavily suppressed on every platform. So that is how you can help support this show for free. If you're digging this show and you like this show, you want to help support it, all interaction helps. So smash the like buttons and then comment, take part in the discussion. First off, this is a discussion-driven show, and I depend on the comment section. But also, it helps out, and I love hearing from you. So don't be shy. We won't bite you. And if you'd like to do more, you can also become a supporter of this show on Patreon at Patreon.com/Shawn Yankey. But let me see who's here and say hello before we begin tonight's monologue. Hey, Dolores. I'm glad to be back on the page. On Facebook, we have badges, and I like them. I'm easily entertained by small things. But hey, Dolores. Hey, Susan. Hey, Joan, Raymond. Good to see you. Helen, Edward. Good group. Marie, you made it. Good to see you guys here. Hey, YouTube. Good to see y'all. There's some people here on YouTube. Go ahead and say hello. Join the conversation. Hey, Periscope. I'm coming for you. I still can't see your comments. I got to do 2 devices to do that, but I am figuring it out. We will figure that out. We're going to get to that later on. There's going to be a lot of improvements coming up in the show. Joan says get Dr. Shiva on. Man, that'd be a big get. I'm trying to get some guests and get some people on here for you. I like having guests on. That's actually fun. Marie says today is a Peeps Day. LOL. I just looked up to see Helen and Susan use Peeps too. Great minds are alike. Peeps is catching on. You know, I want to name our group, you know, the Gathers, the core group, you know, give us a clever name. You know, like all your big shows have their little group in their fan club or whatever you want to call it. And Yankee Peeps, I like it. I even named a chat group that, in fact. So I like that name. I'm hoping it does catch on. I'm going to go ahead and be honest right up front and tell you that I have some teeth issues that are causing me some pain. So I am going to do my best to struggle through that and get through the notes here and keep fighting forward, because I'm not going to let it ruin my night and stop us from having a show. But hey, everybody out there in Internet Town, and welcome back. It's Tuesday, June 9th of 2020, which looks to be Earth's last year of existence if the events keep climaxing at their current rate. You know, well, we're at least meant to feel that way. You know, that's what they want us to think. They want us to think that this is the end of everything. Everything's going to implode. Everything's going to end. Nothing's ever going back to normal. You got all this shit going on. What the fuck are we actually being distracted from? That's what I really want to know. That's all I really want to know. I spend all my time trying to figure that out. I haven't got a handle on it yet. I'd love to tell you I got it figured out. I don't. But I want to know what the real end game is here, because it's not the bullshit on the surface. And have y'all ever witnessed a propaganda attack stream like this before in your life? Or read about one? This news that's rising to the top, what's getting to the top, what's getting focused on is by design. It's a show. The shit that happened goes on every day. It's just not reported on. They pick and choose when cameras get pointed at this stuff, and they use it against you. It's all weaponized, and it's used to manipulate you. Like, where'd the Rona go? What happened to the Rona? Where'd that go? You don't hear nobody mentioning it. You see large groups of people on TV all the time, and it's almost like they're encouraging these protests. They're not saying everybody should be social distancing and staying at home anymore. We'll get back to that in a minute. But right now I want to talk about mixed feelings about the protests themselves. I'm torn about the whole situation, actually. I don't know exactly how to feel about it. There's legitimate beefs here, but it's all theater, and you're being manipulated. I love seeing teenagers and young people protesting and rising up and getting involved, making their voices heard, getting active and getting informed. I love seeing all this. People, even older people, getting involved, getting active, rising up, coming together. There's all these examples of solidarity. There's plenty of positive to point to here. Then there's also all the bullshit and the propaganda and the lies and the misdirection and the emotional manipulation. And then there's just the fact that I know it's a trap and that we're being played. You know what I mean? It's the setup. It's a setup. Think about George Floyd's funeral, for instance. I realize it's a high-profile case and everything, and a national news story, but he had a funeral in almost three or four different places. Huge funerals. Paid for by Floyd Mayweather. This guy had friends in the NBA. This is a very connected guy. It's a lot of weird going on. And a lot of pandering going on to Dems. I'm all over the place, but I don't know if you just noticed I clenched. It's really hurting. Teeth pain, by the way, is the absolute worst, in my opinion. I'm not a woman, never had a baby. Teeth pain sucks. But the Dems, the Democrats, in that pandering photo op where they knelt for 8 minutes and 46 seconds while wearing kente cloths, they didn't even know what that meant. And I've seen someone say that it was gifted to them beforehand and they just put them on, bullshit. It's a photo op staged event. And they're just pandering to you. Trust me, anything they push through will be heavily padded with bullshit they've had on the back burner. They're playing you. They're playing us all. Like, even the NFL's coming out now and saying they support players protesting peacefully. Interesting. Why? Is it because we're trying to rile up the people now? Trying to get everybody all civil unresty so we can bring in the National Guard and bring in the Army and bring in martial law and lock down society? Is that why? I think something's bad is coming. If we don't wake up and realize we're being played. where he said, talk about the photo op. Yeah, that photo op where the Dems were kneeling, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it just makes them look ignorant. Completely out of touch. You know. Helen, you're right. They made a whole production out of this. This is a play. I am too, Susan, but I'm not alone. You know. There are many people dealing with this kind of stuff. You know. Health problems. And dental is health. They are priced out of your range. You know. I mean, I'll get it figured out, but it's just, I work full time. I usually work overtime at my job. I'm a hard worker. No one that works for a living should have to make sacrifices or try to figure out how they're going to scrounge up enough money to get dental care. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how we've let society get to benefit a minority of rich bastards. We all have the same enemies. We're being manipulated and played to think that we don't, but we do. Everything else is bullshit, and if we would just come together, we could make actual change. Maybe we could get shit like Medicare for all. Healthcare. And get rid of this greed. Because I might go to Mexico, you know, because I need a lot of work done. And it's out of my reach financially. I don't know what I'm going to do. But, I mean, I may have to get creative. There's a truck stop nearby. And I might go to Mexico, though. You can go to Mexico and get cheap dental work. And they have good dentists. I keep fucking up my speech. I apologize. It's distracting. You know? Jones says Cuomo announced police reform for New York today. He said New York is always first to make change. Police reform? In what way? In what way? Are they going to stop doing warrior training? Where they learn how they're predators and need to have a killer mentality? They're going to stop that? Yes, Susan, the YouTube videos, that's what turned me on to Mexico. And I'm going to look into it more, but it might be the way I got to go. Because what I need done is expensive here. It's criminal. It's criminal how expensive it is. What do you do without your teeth? You know? Jessica said, yes, that's why. Can't enact New World Order without martial law. The people need to be conditioned first. That's exactly what is happening. We're being conditioned. We're being played, being manipulated. It's fucking theater. I'm not saying there's no Rona. I'm saying you're being played with that shit. I'm not saying that they didn't kill George Floyd and that it wasn't horrible. I'm saying you're being played with that shit. And whatever they play you with next. You know, I shared a meme earlier on Facebook, and it was talking about the calendar for the rest of 2020 has been revealed. And right after the riots and all that shit is the second wave of Rona. I'm calling it right now. I really believe that's where we're heading. This is not going away, and they're going to keep this massive propaganda campaign going because they're hiding something, and they're hiding something big. And I don't know what the hell it is, but I know it's not what they're putting on TV. This bullshit. You know, and these fake-ass protests that they're riling up into riots, and they are responsible for that. You know, like me and Harsh were just talking about on his show, that I don't feel that the people can be held responsible when these tactics that they use against us, these manipulation tactics, these silent weapons, and these things they've been using for hundreds of years. It's perfected. It's hard to be mad at somebody for being affected by something like that. You know? And people in large groups, I'm sorry, but it's true, are stupid. So to move a protest in a direction towards violence or destruction is not super hard, and they know that shit, and that's why they do it. Let's see. I hate this mouse. I need a new mouse. I've almost bought one like 5 times, but I'm the worst about treating myself. I want a new microphone. So does a lot of the listeners. They want me to get a new microphone. I got my eye on one. I got one picked out. It's gonna be so much better, but it's a couple $100, and I'm like, man, that's not much really. If I was really to think about it, but if I was buying it for someone else, I'd be more apt to do it probably. For myself, I'm always like, ooh, that's expensive. I don't know if you earned that yet, Shawn. Susan says the guy had root canals and crowns on all his teeth for $8,000. He was quoted $30,000 from his dentist. Jennifer said, I have proof. I have a video of prior military nurse, and it proves we are being lied to. We're absolutely being lied to. Absolutely. On the Rona, 100%. On George Floyd, 100%. 100%. You know, just like we talked about this the other day, but I posted Black Lives Matter. 2 trigger people. Purposely 2 trigger people. Because you shouldn't let it bother you. It is a weaponized phrase. It's all bullshit. It's propaganda. It's being used against you. But stop letting it bother you. Stop letting it have power over you. Stop letting yourself get played so easily. You know what pisses me the hell off? This is off topic. And Robert says your mic works great when you talk into it. Well, dude, I shouldn't have to be on top of it. I am literally... I moved a little closer before I said that, but times it by 2. Not that far away from it. I'm on top of it. Yeah, Joan, the teeth are the most important thing right now. But I'm telling you, $200 for a new microphone is a lot closer to me than $1,000. You know, when was the last time I had $1,000? And I still haven't got my little stimulus check. That would do it. That would be a trip to Mexico right there. I do deserve nice things, Susan. You're right. We all do. And we could have nice things if we could just wake people up. We could just get them to stop sleeping. Whatever we want to call it. To realize they're being screwed royally. We could have nice things. Yeah, Brett, you ran a little experiment of your own, defund the police. That's a fun one too. Oh my God, that's fun. Oh, no one reads that article. They're just like, oh, you want to have no cops. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. What it means is spending on police is out of control. Here's just a few examples. Chicago has a 27% increase in police spending amid school closures and population decline. 27% increase in spending on police. Chicago spends more than 38% of its budget on the police. New York, very little population growth, but massive increase in police spending. In 2008, their budget for police was $4 billion. Now, it's $6 billion. The New York City police budget is $6 billion. That's a 46% increase during the period of time when the city's population growth was essentially flat. And during that time, spending on police rose by 22%. And like I said, this happened during a period when the city experienced many years of budget cuts due to social services and schools and programs for the people, which end up becoming a bigger workforce for the police and how they get put into a lot of situations they're not qualified for and shouldn't have to handle because things have gotten out of hand. And the reason why it's so upside down, and the reason why they put so much money into the police in these cities, is because the police generate revenue. Because they're fucking pirates. They're not there to protect and serve. They're there to drive revenue. They make a lot of money off the people with the police. That's why they put so much money into them. They don't make no money on social services. They don't make no money treating drug addiction. So they don't put any money into it. They put their money into the policing. Because that brings in revenue. That brings in money. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. They are not there for us. But there is a real potential for change, you know. And ever since the Clinton era, when they started militarizing the police, which there's no reason for, they don't need this military-style equipment. And these bootlickers crying that, oh, they must have tanks and riot teams and all this shit. They don't need that. If we actually took care of the problems at their roots, took care of drug addiction, took care of community outreach, and took care of rebuilding society, we wouldn't have to have these problems with crime. We wouldn't need this militarized police force. They weren't creating the need for it. They're creating the need for it. It's just a circle. Yeah, man, the military-style equipment. And then Clinton started that. A lot of people think this shit is new. It happened slowly over time. Gradually got to the point where it is. But Clinton really got it going. And every puppet president since has moved it forward, but you didn't get your stimulus either, Joan? Man, it's pissing me off at this point. Because I had decided I wasn't going to get one. Because if you're behind in your child support, you don't get one. And I hadn't opened a letter from child support services in so long, I still thought I was behind. But I'm not. She actually owes me money. I've been paying too much for, I don't know, over a month. So I should be getting one. And I don't know what the hell's going on. Sitting on my money, playing it in the stock market, I guess. I don't know. Jennifer says, oh, social service make plenty of money too, as well as healthcare. In revenue? Healthcare, yeah. But how does social services make money in revenue? Brent says, my youngest has not gotten hers either. Really? You know, I guess it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. There's a couple at work, you know, that I know. At least two. Haven't gotten it yet, but everybody else has. Hilton says, friends complained when I questioned about old man yesterday. The old man that got pushed down. I shared that post. I'm still looking into it, but I shared it. It was a post about how maybe, just maybe, that old man staged that shit. And I don't know for a fact that he didn't. I wouldn't put it outside the realms of possibilities. Like I said, anytime they're going to point all the cameras at something, something's up. But anyways, Helen posted this thing. And it was a collage of pictures telling a story that maybe this is bullshit. She says now, you ain't supposed to question your kids or elders. That's how they'll get shit by you, man. Making group shaming you into not questioning certain groups of people. Question everything. Literally everything. Especially when they point all the cameras at it. Whenever there's a concerted effort at propaganda, question everything. Kilo! Man, YouTube's been quiet for a week. Ever since they demonetized me, nobody has said a word. You ain't got your stimulus yet either. Huh. All right. You know, that's what I'm using it for. I'm definitely using it for that. Dude, we get no views on YouTube no more. After they demonetized me, we're throttled so bad. We were throttled already, but now it's terrible. Jones said that old guy was a lot taller than every one of those cops. He was a real lanky dude. Yeah. And he moved really well. When you find out later he's 75 years old, he was very agile. Not that's impossible. It's a little weird. Kind of reminded me of the Six Flags guy. I even said that when it happened. Hey, Lori. Marie said social services actually gets paid for every kid they take. Some goes to foster, the rest goes to them. Oh, yeah. Social services is corrupt as shit. I wasn't promoting that group for sure. They're very heavily into child trafficking, actually. Government is shit. Right? We need to tear down and reform the whole damn thing. But why are we protecting the police? Why when you hear, or not us, this group, there's no one in here that I recognize as a bootlicker, but why are some people so triggered by anything that would take money away from the police? Like I just covered, like in New York, $6 billion budget for the police. You're going to tell me that there's not tons of problems with that? And the level of corruption just involved in that amount of money? It's crazy. Yeah, Marie, yellow vest time. It's way past yellow vest. It was yellow vest o'clock a long time ago. Helen says the video showed him putting his phone up to cops' equipment. People actually thought he was taking pictures. Since when do you actually touch your phone to things you're photographing? He did act weird, and he was aggressive. And why would you walk up on cops like that? And then they show the sympathy pictures where they're like, oh, he was returning a helmet. Dude, that helmet would sit where the fuck it was. There ain't no way I'm approaching a group of riot cops with their helmet. Like, dude, you guys dropped this. That's fucking stupid. Not saying they were right to shove him down. But I'm saying he fell very comically. Could again because he was 75. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't believe everything that I see. But she's right. You're not allowed to question nothing. It's like, oh, how could you? They busted open a 75-year-old man's head. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they did, and maybe they didn't. Yeah, Lori, who has 4 funerals? 4. I thought it was 3. I thought it was Minneapolis, Houston, North Carolina. Where was the 4th one? Or were these all the public ones? I'm skipping ahead to this. May be an old article. Sometimes that's the case. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm looking at an article that's 7 days old. So they got a tour going on. They've added stops. Susan said no one can fake that bloody head injury. Did you see the pictures? I'm not saying it's true again. I'm just explaining a picture. Could have been a doctor picture. I got to look at the actual video, analyze some stuff for myself. I'm just explaining the situation right now. Explaining the post. There's evidence of a hose going up to an earpiece, and it's weird. I'm saying it's weird. It's okay to question. I've been very clear this whole time that I've been talking about it that I haven't verified any of it yet. I'm saying she shared it just like I shared it, probably to question it, to look into it. People act like you can't question anything. But if the media is pushing something, you absolutely should question it. Yeah, Riley, with a tube you could. With a device you could. You could make it a show. You know, someone just happens to be standing perfectly where the man's going to fall to get that shot at that angle of the blood trickling out of his ear. It just happened to be standing there with a camera. Could have happened. I don't believe in coincidences. So it's just a little weird. It seemed very staged. The first thing I thought when I watched it, my very first thought was, this is fake. And then I watched it again. I'm like, oh, start seeing it from other sources. Oh, maybe it's real. Looks fake, but maybe it's real. Maybe it's staged. Could be. Jones says the Floyd funerals were the only funerals, the mass funerals gatherings allowed in the whole country. Hey, Susie, welcome back. Yeah, right, Lori. Question everything. Absolutely everything. Even if you hear it from me, question that shit. Look it up. I want you to. Hell, anything I say on here, I want you to verify. And if I'm wrong, I want you to tell me. I'll own that shit. Hey, Dion. Good to see you, man. Still trying to line things up. It went quiet with Steve. I haven't heard from him in a couple days. But I'm going to reach out again. I don't want to bother him. But I was trying to get it locked in. And I haven't heard back. We're playing phone tag, and he's it. So until I get tagged again, I feel bad tagging again. He says, don't die. Who's dying? Besides everybody. Nobody's getting out alive. Nobody's getting out of this alive. Jennifer says, I thought the same way with George, but I also didn't want to be insensitive either. I think Floyd is alive. Harsh was saying the same thing. I was just on Harsh's show. And he said that he thinks George is still alive. I find a lot of things weird about it. I don't feel like I can say that at this point, but I can say that there's something wrong. Definitely say there's something wrong. That's interesting. It's a very interesting theory. Yeah, Lori, correct me every time I'm wrong, too. Lori said, Steve who? Steve who? Steve who? I got to remember now. Steve Grumbine. Yeah, the interview I'm trying to line up. Communication kind of went quiet, but it was a recommended guest by Dion, actually, to teach us about MMT. I'm interested in learning about it. Yeah, Lori. EDKH. EDKH all day long. Epstein did not kill himself. Now, think about this. The doctor from the Epstein autopsy also was involved in this Floyd case. Very interesting, right? Very interesting. Oh, he did it. He's saying George didn't die. You think so too? Jennifer, we can do a Zoom. We can do anything we want while we got the internet. We won't have it for long. It will be taken away from us. These toys. Yeah, Steve Grumbine. That's right. But, oh, you tagged him. That's what, okay. Skipping ahead in the notes, Susan. Skipping ahead in the notes, you brought it up. I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys this, because I think we've driven this home enough already, and then we got to get to some news. But tomorrow night is Conspiracy Theory Night. Tomorrow, Wednesday nights, on the Shawn Yankey Show, we cover conspiracy theories. And I make a video for you to go over and watch together. We got some choices to pick from. I've got it settled down to Project Bluebeam, Project Pegasus, or Elvis is Alive. What do you guys want to see? All right? What do you want to see covered tomorrow? Do you want to talk about Elvis still being alive and even putting out music? Or Project Pegasus? Or Project Bluebeam? Let me know in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow night for our featured video. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you some news. The results are in on my candidacy for national delegate for Bernie Sanders. It's final now. It's official. I didn't get it. All right. I'm honestly relieved. I'm glad. I would have done it had I got it. I ran for national delegate when I believed in all that shit. But I still would have did it, and I still would have only voted for Bernie. I would have done it. I would have taken that trip and used that experience as a life lesson. I would have known 100% what was going to happen the whole time. I would never have had any fantasies of Bernie coming riding in on a white horse or anything happening. So, in the end, I didn't back out. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad I saw it all the way through, but I'm glad I didn't get it. So, and the other part of news is I'm looking into starting a website for this show. I'm getting sick and tired of the censorship. I'm done with it. And I want to have freedom and security and build something, right? That's going to allow me to do all those things. I don't know how the hell I'm going to get it off the ground, but I want to run this out of a website so that no one can take it away. Well, that's not true even either, but it's harder. Might be harder to get out. Might be harder to get seen. Right now, they're only allowing a small group of people to see me anyway. You know? So, this corporate censorship scares me as a content creator. I would rather have a place of my own to store my stuff and my own to come from, and just the security of knowing that, you know, as long as I keep the licensing up and I keep everything going the way it should be, no one's going to take me down. They'll suppress me in the algorithm still. They'll still throttle me in the SEO and all that, but we're going to have ways where we're going to have workarounds for that stuff too. Because of t-shirts. I collect t-shirts. I have a pretty good t-shirt collection, actually. It's not great. It's not great. I'm not proud of it. I wouldn't show it off, but I'm like 30, 40 deep. Good, nice little t-shirts. Anyways, I love them. And I want to find some way to promote the show to be able to allow us to do better things, like get a new mic, camera, other things for the show. Boost it up, make it fancy. It's going to get a little better and better as we go. And then a little side jangle from my pocket. That'd be nice. So merch is coming, and I'm going to come up with clever slogans and shit for t-shirts. It's going to be really cool. But let me check back in with you guys now. I want to see what you've been talking about and what you want to talk about tomorrow night. Lori says, talk to Tony Smith. He is working on a truther site. What? That would be cool. That would be real cool. Like a network almost, like a place for creators to go and come from. That'd be nice. I'm definitely going to talk to him. I'm going to have to message him about that. Marie says, I got another ask for money from Bernie email today. I had to unsubscribe. They asked why, and I let them know. He led us up a path and left us at a time when we needed him the most, whether by choice or threatened. He deserted us. That's exactly what he did. Helen says it froze up. Man, we shouldn't be freezing. I'm sorry, guys. I got the stats maxed out. We're at 60 frames per second. I should be beautiful and streaming very nice. Keel says the old man was an activist, was arrested protesting nuclear weapons outside naval bases years ago. So the dude's legit, and he just ain't scared of cops? I told you I ain't looked into it. You know what I mean? I shared it to look at it. People are triggered by that shit. If you share something, you know, I don't take it that seriously. I share stuff sometimes because I want to look at it. And that's one of those things. So, like I said, I haven't verified it. I'm just saying it's not outside the realms of possibility in our current reality. In an age of deceit, when everything's lies and we're surrounded by deception, to me, nothing's outside the realms of possibility, especially if the media is pointing a damn camera at it. Kilo says, though, on the flip side, if he's legit, he's got some balls, right? Right? You don't walk up to cops like that without either a supreme sense of entitlement and just an obliviousness to reality, or balls of steel. Did anybody say what conspiracy they want to see? Elvis. Susan said Elvis. 1 vote for Elvis. Jennifer says Elvis is cool and all, but I'd rather do one of the other two. The Elvis one's going to be neat, though. Elvis is definitely going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. It's going to be... That would be the hardest one. You know, it's the one I want to do, too, Susan. I dig Elvis. I'm an Elvis fan. And it's interesting. That's the other reason I want to do it. But I would like to spend a little more time on it. So that would be one reason why I might move it back to the back burner. But do you guys know about Pegasus? Is that one that's like common knowledge? I know most of you probably are familiar with Bluebeam, Project Bluebeam. Susie says either of the first two. Lori says, I love everything Shawn says. Aw, you're so sweet. Brett says, Bernie only woke some up. No way that they would let him in. Bernie woke a lot of people up. Bernie did a lot of good. That's why I'm not mad at him. You know, I'm not wearing it anymore, but today I was wearing my Bernie shirt. I still wear that. I still have my poster. I haven't hung it yet, but I'm gonna. The propaganda piece where he was had the concert with Public Enemy. And isn't it fucked up that Flavor Flav turned out to be right? Flavor Flav got kicked the fuck out of Public Enemy over refusing to do that show because he didn't believe in Bernie. And he stood his ground, got kicked out of Public Enemy. He turned out to be right. Flavor Flav, what time is it, man? He was right. Flavor was right. True thing is, though, it was about money. He wanted more money for the show, but still turned out to be right to sit it out. Yeah, Lori, don't be cruel to a heart that's true. Don't be cruel to a heart that's true. Oop, we just crashed. I saw that one. Dude, I don't know why that happened. It didn't happen on YouTube, but I watched it happen on Facebook. That's wild. Here, I'll share the YouTube link with Facebook because Facebook is clearly up to shenanigans. I watched that one happen. But I'm going to put this over here for Facebook. If we lose it, you guys come join us on YouTube. It's not the cool kids room anymore. They took that away. But still a lot of cool kids over here. And that's where Kilo is. And if you lose me on Facebook, it's the only place you can find me. Other than Periscope. I'd share that link with you too, but Periscope needs to work on some stuff. They're still a baby. And it would probably help if I knew more about technology. So there's two things at play there. Let me see. What else is in my notes that I wanted to get to real quick while I give you a chance to talk a little bit? And we're going to settle it down. Right now, we'll move Elvis to the back burner, Susan. Even though I want to cover it, even though that's the one I would have voted for too, and the one that would have been the most fun, I don't think there's any way I could have got it done tomorrow. I can get something done on Bluebeam or Pegasus, I think, in a day. It would be hard. But again, I've put it off to the last minute, so I'm going to have to do it in the course of a day and make a 15-minute video. So Pegasus, Project Pegasus, or Project Bluebeam, guys. While I wait for your answer on that, this is a story about a police officer. And again, if it's being reported in the media, there's a reason. You know, it's not because they're just reporting some news, because this happens every day too. But there was an officer in San Antonio who made a feces sandwich for a homeless man and was suspended for it, terminated for it, but he won his termination appeal. But he has another case against him. So he's not back on the force yet because he also, after women officers complained that the bathroom needed clean, he pulled a separate poop prank, one that involved taking an unflushed dump in the women's locker room and smearing the substance over the toilet seat just because a female officer had asked that the restroom be kept clean. But this is the power of police unions. It's the reason why I brought it up. I'm sure there's tons of stories like that. And like I said, they're only reporting it because right now the media en masse on the left is shitting on the police, encouraging the protests. On the right, they're doing what they do. They're all focusing on the same thing, whatever flavor they're selling of it. I covered the Democrats. This stuff's cool with the kids protesting. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about what's going on because I know we're being played and manipulated, but it's hard to be mad at people for rising up because that's what we need to do. It's all that will work is a revolution. The people rising up. Otherwise, this evil agenda that's in place against us all will move forward uninterrupted, and it will succeed. Let's see, what did you say? Which one are we covering tomorrow night? Did anybody have an opinion? Nobody said. We're leaving it up to me? All right, I'll surprise you. But it's going to be Bluebeam or Pegasus. And I'm leaning towards Pegasus. I'm going to give you a hint. But we'll cover anything you want, as we always do. On Wednesday nights, we do conspiracies. So if you had a good time tonight, come back tomorrow, because Wednesday's always fun. It's my favorite night, because I love conspiracy theories. And there's a lot of truth in them. We cover everything. It's not always factual, but whether I cover Bluebeam or Pegasus, it will be. But we've covered Bigfoot. We've covered the flat earth. We've covered the moon landings. We've covered all kinds of things. Skull and Bones, MK Ultra. We get into all kinds of things. So if you like that kind of stuff, come on Wednesday nights. But we do this show every night, Monday through Friday at, I'm not at my notes, 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern. So come back and support this show. Help us grow. That's the only thing that's going to keep truth out there. Like me and Harsh were just talking about. It's being shut down everywhere they can shut it down. As long as they can keep you quiet, they don't mind that you get on there and talk. They don't mind that I get on here and run my mouth. Because I'm not hurting nobody. Ain't nobody seeing it. You know what I mean? Got a group here of 15 to 20 on average people that are all deep friends lists, very connected. I've seen you tagging friends. It happens every show. It's not anybody's fault. It's just they won't let this kind of stuff out. Like Harsh was saying, he has 3 or 4 Facebook accounts because they shut him down on all of them. Censorship has now been corporatized. Big Brother is Mark Zuckerberg and Google and Twitter. And they're all controlled by the intelligence agencies. Facebook started as LifeLog. It's ran by DARPA and the CIA. And they were out in the open about it. And they changed it to Facebook when people were outraged. They didn't get rid of it. They rebranded it. Put Zuckerberg out front, and they use it exactly the way they always intended to. Kilo says the bar for being a cop is getting lower and lower. Oh, it's like a limbo bar. I don't know who could get under it at this point. Elvis was a tanker? Truck driver? Is that what you mean? Oh, yeah, Flavor Flav did that for money. I was giving him more credit than he deserved because I wanted to say, Flavor Flav, Sometimes I do shit just for me. That one was for me. Yeah, Lori, if one person helped, it all is all worth it. If one person, and that's what I want to do. That's what I do with these shows every night, is try to spread truth, try to sprinkle some truth. You know, we have buried in a good conversation, maybe it gets through to somebody. You know, we'll make it interesting. Someone might watch it, stumble in here by mistake, learn something on their way around. Susan says, did y'all notice our White House looks like Hitler's parliament when Russia was closing in on Berlin and he was hiding in the bunker? Sound familiar? I'd have to look at that. In what way do you mean? Lori says Shawn's conspiracy realities are my favorite of his shows. She hates saying conspiracy theories. Facebook just crashed again. I don't mind that phrase. It's a weaponized phrase. It's bullshit. You know, so I don't let it bother me. It didn't come right back either. Facebook stayed crashed this time. It might not be crashed though. Sometimes it looks like it crashes to me, but it doesn't really. Military tanks. He was in the Army. Oh, he drove tanks. I thought you meant drove tanker trucks. He was also a truck driver, no? But yeah, he was drove military tanks in the Army. I didn't know what he did in the Army. I just knew he served in the Army. I'm not a super fan of Elvis. You know what it is? I find Elvis fascinating. I like his music, but I don't own a single Elvis record. But I did get married by Elvis. My first wedding, I was married by Elvis. Now we're back on Facebook. We lost a bunch of viewers, but we're back. But, yeah, we got married by Elvis in Vegas. Highlighted the entire marriage, actually. And he was a shitty Elvis impersonator. He was very well reviewed online. I mean, you know, came highly recommended. He was lip syncing. And that's bullshit. Pay big money to be married by Elvis. You want him to sing the damn songs. Come on, man. Can't sing it. And I don't think you can charge $1,000. You know what I mean? Maybe you should be only charging $500 if you're going to lip sync. That's my opinion. You know, a couple other things were sloppy too. You didn't have good wiggle in his hips. There was a lot wrong with him, but he's got to go. See you later, Heath. Helen said froze up, but it's back now. Yeah, I saw that. I saw it happen. I saw the shenanigans. That's why I shared the YouTube link with you guys. That's one of the reasons why we multi-stream to begin with. But Kilo says you're a tanker as well. What is that like, dude? Would you come on once, sometime, to talk about your military experiences and what it's like to drive a tank? What is that the neatest shit ever? What is that like? There is a Megadeth video. For some reason, I am way into Megadeth right now. It is my favorite band right now. I listen to them every day. YouTube just hiccuped. I listen to them every day. And there's a video. I don't even remember what song, but I see it every day because I have a playlist. And Dave Mustaine's driving a tank. It looks fucking fun, you know. They can also be used for extreme evil, though, so it's a double-edged sword. It's freaking awesome, he says. It looks like it would be fun as hell. But Susan said 8-foot fences around the White House with barbed wire. Yeah, Trump's scared. Did you see him go to the bunker the other day? Said he was going there to inspect it. Of course he was. Marie says they're really throttling you tonight. The most I've ever been through in a show. Refresh not even working here at the end. I'm the most dangerous thing on the internet. I really couldn't tell you why. Because I've never really swung for the fences. But I think they're afraid that I will one day. And you know, we'll draw someone's attention and maybe I'll say something they don't want to get out and people might listen to it. They're gonna shut everything like this down. You know. But we'll just use this stuff while we have it. we'll use these tools while they're there. But I'm going to be trying to look at other things, like a website or, radio. Some kind of thing like Will Cooper used to do. But I would really like it to be online. I would really like the reach of that. And hopefully they don't do me like Alex Jones and stop me from sharing on these platforms. But they could shut you down all the way if they want to. So Alex Jones still has InfoWars, but I refuse to believe they can't take that from him too, if they wanted to. They allow him to exist. Jones says that means you're doing a great job then if they want you suppressed. I guess, but is it good for me? Does it work out for me? It's no good if I can't get out to people, if I can't spread a message, which is really what I want to do, I get rewarded by hanging out with you guys, and I meet really cool people, and I get to have really nice conversations with, very interesting folks. It's all fun. I get a lot of rewards out of this, but one of my main things is I want to spread truth. I want to raise awareness. I want to get out to a wider audience and expose people to things they wouldn't normally be exposed to. Can't really do that being throttled and suppressed. It's hard. So it's discouraging. But I can see that we're glitching bad now everywhere. We're even glitching on YouTube. We haven't crashed yet on YouTube, but we're glitching really bad. Jessica says, spending time sharing information here together, our social credit scores are going down. Oh, we're screwed. Us truthers, we're screwed. We're screwed. We've all got the, what is it, red? Is that the sticker they put on your mailbox? Remember when they used to talk about the stickers? The different color stickers that they would put on mailboxes when they come to round us up? We definitely got whatever sticker the truthers get, we got that sticker. Joan, they let stuff be on the air. They do. I saw someone else tell me one day that they don't allow anything on the internet or anywhere that they don't want out there. Well, that's just not true. They allow everything out there. They believe in that shit. They believe in putting it in plain sight and leaving it out in plain sight. They like to rub it in your face. And they believe it helps give it power. It's part of their belief system. Jennifer says, I could lead you to the right people to help you. Lead me. Lead me. Marie says, Dr. Shiva just came on with a video of real versus fake racism right now. Guess it's a trend tonight. I'm going to have to watch that video. Check that out. But I am going to go ahead and wrap up for the night. I'm getting ready to get started on tomorrow night's show. Wednesday's a lot of work because I make a video for you guys. But come back for tomorrow night's show, and we're going to do, I don't know yet. I'm going to surprise you. But come back tomorrow night and hang out with us. We'll be on, let me get back to my notes so I can say it again. They taught me this. They took a lot of effort to teach me this, and I pulled it into my notes. We'll come on at 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern tomorrow night, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. So thanks for coming to the show and hanging out with me tonight. And I really enjoyed the conversation and had a good time with you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night.